everyone, and we are back again, the best part of the week, Thursday night, 8 o'clock p.m. with Genius Kids on Air, a show for kids and by kids, being brought to you by Genius Kids Development. We are now a national franchise. Genius Kids caters to the parents who want the best for their child, those who seek to shape tomorrow's citizens, those parents who want a well-rounded child who can excel in academics, sports, music, arts and crafts, and the most important life skill, communication and public speaking. We've been rated Best of the East Bay in services by the East Bay Express publication, as well as the most likely place to find a Silicon Valley inventor. We were also selected from over 75,000 innovative business ideas in the country by Time Warner to be featured on CNNmoney.com as business visionaries who dare to dream. We believe that in order to survive in today's fast-paced, ever-changing world, we need to create confident, happy and successful citizens who will become future leaders. Our children are our future, and their brains are like super engines waiting to be fired and ignited. Genius Kids is the instrument of ignition and inspiration which has to be applied at the right time between the ages of birth and age 6. So stay tuned if you want to meet and hear our very own students report to you with oozing confidence, communication and of course personality. We will be right back with messages from our sponsors. Stay tuned.
Little genius kid, little genius, I'm the little genius kid. Come on, mom, it's time to go. I'm ready to pop and rock the show. My brain is wired, the neurons fired. I wanna learn and I wanna grow. Come on, dad, it's time to play. I'm ready to learn, so don't delay. Minutes are ticking, my brain is clicking. So off to school, we're on our way. Babies, toddlers, kids galore. The little genius kid is where we'll score. Moms can chill and surf the net. Chat, make friends, or nap, you bet. Dad can read a paper or two, solve a puzzle, figure a clue. So come on, no need to think. My brain is wired to connect and sync. Read, sing, dance and learn. Excessive energy is what I'll burn. So off to the little genius kid. See the results, you'll be glad you did. Little genius, the little genius kid. Little genius, the little genius kid. Little genius, the little genius kid. Little genius, I'm the little genius kid. Little genius, 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 I'm the little genius kid.
Shreya, how come you are always so relaxed in class and so confident? Yaar, you read so well. What do you eat?
Akhil, eat? Well, let's say some of my brain food comes from Genius Kids.
Call Genius Kids today, celebrating a new center on Mission Boulevard in Fremont. Call 510-659-9900 for a free trial class in preschool, pre-kindergarten, kindergarten, after school, or public speaking. Call 510-659-9900.
Hey, I'm a busy gal. Busy at work, busy at home, busy at play. The last thing I need is to go to the dentist, find out I need a crown or something, and then have to come back 3 weeks later to get it done. That's why I love Panu Dental Group. I'm talking single-day CEREC crowns with digital molds. It's state-of-the-art. No mess, no sticky molds, no temporary crowns. And there's more. They can do dental implants in just 1 day. Panu Dental gives you teeth in a day. Perfect for a busy gal like me.
Visit PanuDental.com for information on single-day dentistry options. That's PanuDental.com. Whether it's dental implants, ceramic restoration, or wisdom teeth surgery, we'll get you out in a single visit. Panu Dental Group, your multi-specialty family dentist. Visit PanuDental.com. San Jose, Fremont, Cupertino, and Dublin. Call 800-360-9250. 800-360-9250. A free consultation is required to check if you qualify. Call 800-360-9250.
Tune in to financial planner, investment advisor Raj Budwal's interactive talk show Bay Area Third Eye every Thursday at 6 p.m. for all your financial needs, be it financial planning, real estate, insurance, retirement, or estate planning. Turn to the services of Raj Budwal of Budwal & Associates. You can call him at 408-835-0202 or email him at 835-0202@gmail.com. Listen to Raj Budwal's Bay Area Third Eye every Thursday at 6 p.m.
Are you confused and tired of trying so many centers and not being able to find the right fit for your child? Maybe you need a fun-enriched summer camp or an after-school program that offers academics, sports, dance, music, acting, public speaking, arts and crafts all under one roof. And to add to the icing on the cake, a cute real school bus that can pick and drop off your child to and from school, home or Genius Kids. Would you like to enjoy delicious home-cooked meals like yummy aloo parathas, creamy vegetable galore khichdi, fresh fruit salad and lots more? Maybe you have a child with ADD, dyslexia, autism who needs that extra special attention. Maybe you have a middle school or high school who needs to learn the ropes of speech and debate. Maybe you have an infant, toddler or preschooler that you would like to enroll. Well, where could you find this wish list? Of course, there are tons of preschools and after-school programs, but let me ask you, how many of them have been featured on CNNmoney.com as the most innovative educational concept? How many of them have been nominated Best of the Bay by Crown 4 Television? How many of them have been featured nationally and globally for their success? Only one, and that is Genius Kids, an independent award-winning learning center founded on the philosophy of never too little to learn, a simple belief that every child is a genius, and as educators and parents it is our responsibility to awaken the inner genius in each child. Call us today with campuses in Fremont, Ardenwood area, Central Fremont, Mission San Jose, Fremont right across from Maloney College, and a new location opening right next to Fremont Park Station and in Newark as well as San Ramon. We are here to offer you that extra special attention. However, due to an overwhelming response, please call us only if you want the best and nothing but the best for your child, since we will settle for nothing less than that. Call 510-713-2431. That's 510-713-2431 or visit geniuskidsonline.com.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. It's back to Thursday night right here on KLOK 1170 AM, the best radio station in the whole Bay Area, and, of course, bringing you the best shows, of which one of them is Genius Kids on Air. I am Miss Renu, the founder of Genius Kids, and I'm thrilled to be back. Today, as much as Genius Kids looks forward to our weekly show to share exciting news and happenings, it is with much grief that we dedicate our show to the 6 innocent people who died in the massacre at the Sikh temple in Oak Creek, Wisconsin on Sunday. This mass killing is and should be a loud wake-up call to the government leaders to rethink and reorganize a domestic anti-terrorism unit that was discredited, defunded, and largely disbanded after it wound up in a political firestorm in 2009. I hope all the listeners are listening in to what I'm about to say. The man who the police say walked into the Sikh temple of Wisconsin firing automatic weapons at his unarmed victims was a disaffected military veteran covered in Nazi and hate-related tattoos. Wade Michael Page made no secret of his extremist affiliations, playing in white power bands that published violent lyrics and performed at gatherings of racist skinheads. Even before any of these details were known, as the first gruesome reports of Page's rampage hit the news channel, Darrell Johnson, the former senior domestic terrorism analyst at the Department of Homeland Security, turned to his wife and said, "This is likely a hate crime perpetrated by a white supremacist who may have had military experience." Johnson wasn't just guessing. In 2009, he was the principal author of a DHS warning to the local law enforcement agencies called right-wing extremism. Current economic and political climate fueling resurgence in radicalization and recruitment. The salient findings of the report was that the extremist groups were growing in size and actively recruiting new members, driven by 4 factors. First, Obama's election as the first black president. Second, economic strains caused by the recession. Third, disaffection amongst veterans. And fourth, the fear of a new gun control measure. Radicals might try to recruit and radicalize people with military training, but the report had warned, noting that the willingness of a small percentage of military personnel to join extremist groups during the 1990s were because they were disgruntled, disillusioned, or suffering from the psychological effects of war. This report triggered a political firestorm. Another congressman, Republican Gus Bilirakis of Florida, pronounced himself very offended and really disturbed that people would even say that our military veterans, our returning war heroes, would be capable of committing any terrorist acts. I hope this has been useful information, because for me, this is quite shocking. Today, my Genius Kids, RJs, will share their views on racism and how to deal with racism in society. Let's begin with understanding what is racism. Racism is a belief that a particular race is superior or inferior to another, and that is a person's social or moral traits are predetermined by his or her inborn biological characteristics. racism has existed throughout human history. It is defined as a hatred of one person by another. In schools, a lot of children deal with racist bullying. So on that note, we are going to be discussing this topic today with my 3 RJs. Hi, Ashmit. How are you?
Hi, Miss Rain. I'm good.
Good. Welcome to the show. I'm glad to have you on air. Hi, Ayan. Are you there?
Yes, I am, Miss Renu.
How are you?
I am very good, Miss Renu.
Very good. And Miss Shreya, are you there?
Yes, I am, Miss Renu.
Thank you. Well, thank you, guys. I know, today we're going to be changing our format a little bit because of this gruesome, awful act that happened on Sunday, and I'm sure you're all witness to what happened, right? So I want to begin by asking each one of you, what do you feel, what does racism mean to you, and what have you done in terms of research? I assigned this topic to you a few days ago. So, Ashmit, what can you comment on that?
Well, just as you said, I think racism is the belief that one race of people is superior to another because of their color or race.
So have you ever experienced any racism in your school, Ashmit?
No, I haven't.
No, you haven't. Well, you're very fortunate then, so that's pretty good. You go to school in Fremont, correct?
Yes.
Okay, good. Well, Fremont's a pretty good community. We have people from all different countries. So, do you have any particular quote or anything that you've looked up from me on this topic, or any famous leader that has tried to fight for this?
Well, I found a leader, and everybody should know him, called Martin Luther King Jr. He had
what did you learn about him?
I have a dream that one day little black boys and girls will be holding hands with little white boys and girls. Well, we are fortunate to live in such a great country where we have so much diversity in schools, where we can elect the president by the content of character and not by skin color. We all need to continue to work on Martin Luther King's dream.
Absolutely, and I think one of the dreams was lived when President Obama became the first black American president, right? And there was a big celebration 4 years ago. So, Ayan, what did you find out from me?
Well, I'm going to talk about a thing that Martin Luther King Jr. said, just like Ashmit.
Okay.
Martin Luther King Jr. once said, darkness cannot take out darkness. Only love can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that.
Absolutely. And is there anything else you know about? Let me ask you something. How do you feel about that comment? Do you feel that love can make a lot of changes in communities, especially in schools and between people that hate each other? What do you feel about that?
Well, of course, Ms. Renu, because people are supposed to love everyone, even if you're a different religion.
Absolutely. Do you think that's happening in the world today, or do you think we still need a lot of learning?
It will be simple to love.
Miss Shreya, what are your thoughts on this?
Racism is when people don't tolerate other people's races.
And what famous person have you looked up that has tried to fight for racism?
Mahatma Gandhi.
Okay. So what have you learned about Mahatma Gandhi?
All the religions of the world, while they may differ in other respects, unitedly proclaim that nothing lives in this world but truth.
That's wonderful. That's a very famous saying of his, absolutely. And for those who've just tuned in and you're wondering who these little munchkins are on the radio, they are the Genius Kids reporters. And today's topic is, of course, based on racism after the awful experience that all of us just endured on Sunday when the Sikhs were shot at the Sikh temple in Wisconsin. And on that note, we'll be right back to continue this topic after this quick message.
Shreya, how come you are always so relaxed in class and so confident? Yaar, you read so well. What do you eat? Akhil, eat?
Well, let's say some of my brain food comes from Genius Kids.
Call Genius Kids today, celebrating a new center on Mission Boulevard in Fremont. Call 510-659-9900 for a free trial class in preschool, pre-kindergarten, kindergarten, after school, or public speaking. Call 510-659-9900.
Welcome back, and for those who've just tuned in, you're listening to Genius Kids on Air on Thursday night, every Thursday night right here on KLOK 1170 AM at 8 o'clock. And I'm Miss Renu from Genius Kids, and we are talking to our three reporters, Miss Shreya, Mr. Ayan, and Mr. Ashmit, who are obviously all under the age of 10 from Genius Kids, who have reported on what the meaning of racism is and also on some famous leaders that have fought for this topic. So, on this note, do you kids have any ideas of how we can overcome racism in school? What would you do if you were to ever encounter somebody saying to you that they didn't like you because of your color? Ashmit, how would you handle something like that if somebody said to you, I don't want to be your friend because I don't like your color?
I would just let them go, because then I wouldn't want to be their friend because they don't want to be my friend. And accomplishments have no color.
Absolutely, accomplishments have no color. But do you think you would try and educate the person maybe and try and make them understand the importance that we're all equal? Would you try that?
Yes,
or would
I would.
Sorry?
Yes, I would, Miss Renu.
You would. So you've never, obviously, you've been very lucky. You've never encountered this at school. What school do you go to, Ashmit?
I go to Warwick, and of course, Genius Kids.
Great. What about you, Ayan? Have you ever experienced racism in school, or any comments, or heard other people experience this?
Well, not really.
Now, if you had to deal with something like this, let's say somebody came up to you and said, you know what, I don't want to be your friend because I don't like your color, or I don't like the way you look. How would you handle something like that?
I would say, if you don't like my color, fine, you don't have to be my friend. You don't have to be anyone's friend.
That's a very good answer. I like that. That's a very good answer. What about you, Miss Shreya? Have you ever encountered something like this in your school?
No.
No? Okay, you've been very fortunate. What school do you go to?
I go to Challenger.
Okay, you go to Challenger in Fremont, right? And what about you, Ayan? I forgot to ask you, what school do you go to, honey?
I go to Donald Elementary.
That's in Pleasanton, right? Hello, is that Pleasanton or Dublin?
Excuse me, Miss Renu, I didn't hear you.
Is that in Pleasanton or Dublin?
It's in Pleasanton.
Okay. So, Miss Shreya, if you've never encountered this, how would you deal with it if somebody came up to you and said, you know what, let's not be friends with that person, I don't like the way they look? What would you say to someone who said something like that?
Well, if they said, I don't like your skin color, I don't like anything about you, I'll say, I understand how you feel, but I still like you, and I don't care about skin color.
That's a very, very noble answer. Very good job. And I'm sure you all know that racism is actually very common in schools, especially as kids get older, and it's called racist bullying, where the racist violence, harassment, and abuse are closely related and sometimes difficult to distinguish from bullying. And some of the tips that I would like to recommend to give to parents and to students is how to overcome racism is one of the first things we do is as educators and as parents is we need to take a position that there is no tolerance policy on antagonism towards other people. And I'm very sensitive to that at Genius Kids. Sometimes I get parents coming into my school and they want to know the nationalities of my teacher, and I think that's a very unfair question to ask. Teachers should be hired based on their qualifications and their qualities and not on their color or their background. Another very important thing that we need to do at our school is we need to teach true history. And I think it's very important that all three of you, when you spend time talking to your grandparents and you learn about your culture and your background and where you're from, that can help you guys develop compassion, especially listening to stories. And another very important thing is to develop the minds of making all of us learn to think globally. Now, on that note, let's lighten the conversation a little bit. I know this has been a very heavy topic, and I would want to wrap up this topic by requesting many of our Indian families, since, of course, this is an Indian radio station, Desi KLOK 1170 AM, is that sometimes as Indians we tend to like to stereotype ourselves and we like to group ourselves wherever we go, like, for example, at parks and everything. And I think we need to understand that we need to teach our children to be friends with everyone, no matter what color or religion they are. So let's lighten the conversation, guys. Thank you so much for doing all this wonderful research and coming up with these quotes. So let's go to our riddles today and just make people smile a little bit. So what do you have for me, Miss Shreya? Let's start with ladies first.
What did one chair say to the other?
Sorry, what did you say? What did one what?
What did one chair say to another?
What did one chair say to another? I don't know, boys. Any answers? Any ideas?
Can I sit on you?
No.
Okay, well, what's the answer, Miss Shreya?
Nothing. Chairs don't talk.
Okay, all right. And what about you, Mr. Ayan? What's your humor for today?
Well, today my riddle is about a palindrome.
About a what?
A palindrome, Miss Renu.
Okay.
A palindrome is a word, phrase, verse, or sentence that reads the same backward or forward, like civic or swim. So, what word, when written in capital letters, is the same forwards, backwards, and upside down?
Forward, backwards, and upside down. So one example you gave was civic and swim. That's a pretty cool one. Could you give us a hint how many letters this word has got?
It's got 4 letters, Miss Renu.
It's got 4 letters. Any ideas, guys? Miss Shreya, Mr. Ashmit?
No, I don't know.
Okay, Miss Shreya, you want to try?
Sorry, I don't know.
Okay, so I'm going to try this. Let me see this. Okay, give us a hint. What does it start with? What's the first letter, Ayan?
N.
What was it?
The first letter, Miss Renu, is N.
N. Okay. No, I can't think of the answer. What is it?
The answer is noon, Miss Renu.
Oh, yes. That's very cool. Noon. That's right. Wonderful. Very good riddle. All right, Mr. Ashmit, lighten up the conversation. What do you have?
Why did the boy eat his homework?
Why did the boy eat his homework? Well, I don't know, because he was hungry?
No.
Okay.
Because
anybody,
the teacher said it was a piece of cake.
Okay, it was a piece of cake. Okay, for those who just tuned in, we'll be right back after this short message because you're listening to Genius Kids on Air. We'll be right back. Stay online.
Are you confused and tired of trying so many centers and not being able to find the right fit for your child? Maybe you need a fun-enriched summer camp or an after-school program that offers academics, sports, dance, music, acting, public speaking, arts and crafts all under one roof. And to add to the icing on the cake, a cute real school bus that can pick and drop off your child to and from school, home or Genius Kids. Would you like to enjoy delicious home-cooked meals like yummy aloo parathas, creamy vegetable galore khichdi, fresh fruit salad and lots more? Maybe you have a child with ADD, dyslexia, autism who needs that extra special attention. Maybe you have a middle school or high school who needs to learn the ropes of speech and debate. Maybe you have an infant, toddler or preschooler that you would like to enroll. Well, where could you find this wish list? Of course, there are tons of preschools and after-school programs, but let me ask you, how many of them have been featured on CNNmoney.com as the most innovative educational concept? How many of them have been nominated Best of the Bay by Crown 4 Television? How many of them have been featured nationally and globally for their success? Only one, and that is Genius Kids, an independent award-winning learning center founded on the philosophy of never too little to learn, a simple belief that every child is a genius, and as educators and parents it is our responsibility to awaken the inner genius in each child. Call us today with campuses in Fremont, Ardenwood area, Central Fremont, Mission San Jose, Fremont right across from Maloney College, and a new location opening right next to Fremont Park Station and in Newark as well as San Ramon. We are here to offer you that extra special attention. However, due to an overwhelming response, please call us only if you want the best and nothing but the best for your child, since we will settle for nothing less than that. Call 510-713-2431. That's 510-713-2431 or visit geniuskidsonline.com.
Welcome
welcome back. And for those who've just tuned in, you're coming towards the end of our show, and this is Genius Kids on Air, being brought to you by Genius Kids. We have 7 campuses in the Bay Area to include San Ramon and Fremont, and we are proud to say that we will finally be in Dublin very soon. So look forward to that. We also are going to be opening another campus in Newark, very close to the New Park Mall, as well as one very close to the Dumbarton Bridge. So stay tuned for those upcoming locations in 2013. Back to our RJs. So guys, before we wrap up, I would like to ask each one of you if you've got any interesting movie or book maybe you could share, or anything exciting you've done this week. Miss Shreya, we'll start with you. Have you done anything exciting that you think the other kids should do? Any fun summer camp you've been to, or any fun book you've read?
I went Bollywood dancing and I had a lot of fun.
Oh, wow. You went Bollywood dancing? So you're taking classes in Bollywood dancing?
Yes.
That's wonderful. What song are you learning to dance to right now?
Do you know the song Subah Hone Na De?
What is the song again?
Subah Hone Na De, a song from Desi Boys.
Okay. And are you going to be performing this where we can all watch you?
Tomorrow I'm performing.
Where are you performing tomorrow?
In ICC.
Oh, excellent. Well, I wish I could have been there, but I wish you the best of luck, Shreya. Thank you so much. Mr. Ayan, what about you? Are you performing anywhere, or do you have anything exciting to share for us?
Well, the exciting thing, Miss Renu, is going on right now. I am in my car, and I'm at a park, and there's a concert going on. Well, that's why you can hear the music in the background.
Really? Where are you? Which park are you at?
I'm at Fremont's Elizabeth Lake, Miss Renu.
Okay, and who's the concert by?
The concert is by a band called House Rockers.
Cool. So are you with your mom and dad?
Yes, and I'm with a few friends.
Oh, wonderful. Well, I'm sure you're having lots of fun, so thank you so much for taking the time to come on the show. And Mr. Ashmit, what are you doing? We have Bollywood dancing, we have concerts going on in parks. What are you up to?
Well, on Wednesday, I went for tennis class and learned a lot of good tennis.
Really? So give me one thing you learned. One exciting thing you learned in tennis.
I learned how to hit overheads.
Very good. Have you been watching the Olympics as well?
Yes, I only watched it for 2 days, though.
That's good, that's good. Well, thank you so much, guys, for being on the show, and it's time to wrap up. And as I said today earlier, the show has been dedicated to the victims of the shooting in Wisconsin. And in order to dedicate the show to the victims and the families, I picked a very popular Shabad. The Shabad is a prayer that we sing as Sikhs. I'm a very proud Sikh, and a Shabad is a prayer that we sing in the Gurdwara, and this is a very famous Shabad sung by Guru Gobind Singh Ji, who was our 10th Guru. And it's called Dev Hai Shiva by Vyas Singh, who's one of my most famous singers from Australia. And again, our prayers and our condolences go out to the family, and I hope that this experience has been a learning lesson to all of us to step back and really think about our lives and think about those who've been less fortunate than ourselves, and really pray and reach out to those families who have suffered this Sunday. So thank you again, Julio, for, again, always keeping track of our shows, and thank you, my RJs, and until next week, stay safe, and God bless to everyone. And here's Deva Shiva by Dya Singh.